Well, good evening, folks. Thank you so very much for tuning into the Sanjubaba show. Really appreciate that. And as usual, as I keep on asking you guys to keep communicating with me, and thank you so much for doing so. I've been receiving some phone calls, and I've also received some documented letters also. Thank you so much for your suggestions and ideas. Once again, my number is 226-6024, 226-6024. Folks, today I've got a very interesting personality, and this gentleman over here, he and his family started a business which is really developing and it is exploding in this country, I believe. And that's known as vaping. It's other version of smoking cigarettes. I saw that in the community over here. I saw them, they've established their business over here, and I've been there about 3 or 4 times to understand what exactly vaping does and what it is all about. And I'm very privileged today to have Mr. Camron Taysom. Camron, thank you so much for stopping to our studios today. Thank you. And we're going to talk about vaping, Camron, today. And I see that you guys have got a very nice looking establishment in the city of Pocatello. What makes you think that vaping is the other version of smoking? Why is people going towards vaping more into smoking nowadays?
Because really vaping is, we can't say it's a way to quit smoking. I gotta make that very clear up front. It's a smoking alternative, okay? But a lot of people have quit smoking as a result of switching to the alternative. And the reason it's so popular is because it's basically all the upsides of smoking without the downsides. So like and what I mean by that is you still feed the addiction, which is the nicotine, but you don't get all the other harmful carcinogens and tars and toxins and chemicals that are in a standard cigarette. So it's fantastic for I can use my own personal experience. I didn't want to quit, and I just ended up quitting by accident, really. And I just noticed that I feel a lot better. I can just.
So you used to smoke before?
Oh yes, I smoked.
And then you quit.
Mm-hmm. And I
not because of vaping. You just quit because you wanted to quit.
No, I didn't want to quit. That's the thing, and I still quit.
Okay.
So, because I smoked, all my friends smoked. I mean, I loved it, and I just started using this because it was more convenient, because I didn't want to go outside and freeze just to smoke a cigarette, or I didn't want to smell like an ashtray, and just got kind of tired of that. So first off, it started as a matter of convenience, and then it just became more and more. I just noticed that I started to feel a lot better just because I wasn't smoking. I didn't have that horrible smoker's cough, that hack, and I started just having more energy. I noticed how much money I was saving by not buying cigarettes. It just completely turned everything around for me. And it took me about 5 months. And like I said, I fought it most of the way. But
so you guys have started this business in Pocatello, Idaho?
Yes.
Now, really, the city itself, if you look at the economy of the city, we do not have that high-income group of people who works in Pocatello. It's almost a $7, $8, $9 kind of a job, and that we have over here in city of Pocatello. Why do you think these kind of devices, they cost quite a bit of money, don't they?
Actually, not really.
How much are these devices are?
You know, to get a basic setup to start off with, you're looking around about $40 or so, which may seem like a lot up front, but if you weigh it with the cost of, say, a carton of cigarettes that you're buying, that most people buy at least once a week, especially a heavy smoker, then your savings is just dramatic. We actually worked it out on paper. And if you just bought 1 pack of cigarettes a day, figure an average of about $5 for a pack of cigarettes, that comes out to just over $2,000 over a course of a year. With vaping, your most expensive part of it is your initial setup. After that, you just have to worry about replacement coils for it and liquid to go in.
And these are your replacement coils. Is this what you call them?
This is the liquid right here that actually goes in it.
Okay, and you've got various flavors of this liquid, is it?
Oh yes, we have well over 130 flavors, and we're constantly growing.
And the nicotine is in this flavor, in this liquid.
Yes, it is. The nicotine's actually in it, and we have liquid flavors without nicotine as well for people that truly want to quit.
You do have some without zero nicotine at all.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
How do you use this, Cameron? If you can show us.
Well, they're each a little bit different. I'll just use my own example for an example. But there's 4 basic parts that you need. You've got a battery, a tank. Then you'll need a charger to charge the battery, and then the liquid to go in the tank. Very easy, and like if you come into the shop, we'll explain it all to you, show you how to do it, answer any questions that you might have. It may seem a little overwhelming to some, especially if they don't feel like they're technologically inclined, but it seems more difficult than it is. It's extremely easy and it's extremely effective.
I have seen various shapes and sizes of this in your shop as well as in other shops. Now, based on those shapes and sizes is the price.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Okay, and this one would be about, you said $40.
This particular one would be about a little bit closer to $50.
$50. And your refills are how much?
For a single bottle, it's $8.99, but we always have promotions and specials going on.
So $9 for a bottle of refill. And this goes for how long?
Well, it depends on how much you actually use it. It's kind of like asking how long a pack of cigarettes is going to last somebody. Depends on how much you smoke it. Some people can go 3 days before they empty the bottle. Some people can go upwards of 3 weeks.
Okay.
So it all depends on personal use.
I understand this is electronically designed. That's why we call it e-cigarette, right?
Yes.
Okay. I know you're not a physician, Cameron.
No.
I also understand that this is a new introduction for you and your business. Now, do you know that if there's any side effects in this product by smoking this?
Well, if you're talking about long-term side effects, that is actually kind of a difficult question to answer, just because they haven't been around long enough to actually perform long-term studies. Now, there are an abundance of short-term studies that point towards long-term effects that show that these are just as effective, if not more effective, than nicotine patches. And the reason these tend to be more effective is because they duplicate the habit, the hand-to-mouth action of smoking. Plus, you get the actual cloud that you blow out. It's very similar to smoking.
I have seen this, that people have been smoking in their cars nowadays, and it's a big controversy right now in the state of Idaho, because we don't understand this very clearly, whether this is really allowed in public places or not. How do you stop this? Is it allowed in public places?
Well, it depends. Like, for example, here in the county, they just passed an ordinance that you can't use anything like this in a county-owned property. So, like the courthouse, the DMV, places like that.
Government organizations.
Yes, that are actually owned by the county.
Okay.
That you can't use those in places like that.
But you could smoke it in Walmart?
Technically, yes. I mean, a lot of people need to be respectful as well, and if somebody asks you to put it away, especially an employee of an organization, then you should go along with it, because it is their right to tell you you can't do it.
Are you guys marketing this as a public smoking device, so you can smoke it in a public place or not?
Yes, I mean, there are a lot of places that do actually allow people to vape inside.
We have stopped smoking. We have an ordinance, we have this regulation in Idaho now that we have stopped smoking in every bars. Most of the bars, I will not say every bars, almost 90% of the bars in the state of Idaho right now do not allow cigarette smoking. Are they allowed to smoke, are they allowed to vape? You call it vaping, right?
Vaping, yes.
Okay, are you allowed to vape there?
Again, it depends on the place that you're at. Some places allow it, some places don't.
Is it up to the owner's discretion, is it?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Okay, so I know this in New York City right now, Cameron, that they're working very hard, because in the entire New York City, they're trying to stop, not stop, how do I say this? They're trying to discourage smoking.
Yes.
As well as vaping now, because they've brought in new laws over here. They're trying to come up with some new laws. How are you guys going to see yourself tomorrow if vaping does come into the same sector of cigarette smoking?
Well, I'm actually really glad that you brought up New York as an example, because there was a story just the other day that a former Surgeon General actually joined the side against these being banned, just because he sees the effects of how well these are helping people quit smoking. And so if a former Surgeon General is advocating strongly for something like this, I think that's something that a lot of people should take into consideration, because that's somebody that would not come out on the side of something that's dangerous for public health. As far as laws, though, I mean, a lot of that comes from people just being uneducated about what this really is, or having the wrong idea about it.
Sure.
A lot of people, the one thing that I hear all the time from people asking questions about it is, what about the secondhand effects? So if I'm sitting here vaping and you're breathing it in, is that going to affect you? And really the best analogy for that is, it's going to affect you about as much as if I had a steaming cup of coffee right here and you were inhaling the caffeine from the steam. So it's the same sort of effect.
Do you inhale the smoke?
Yes, you do. Yeah, you treat it exactly like a cigarette.
So this is nothing like the water pipe, which we also call hookah. Any similarities?
It's similar in the fact that there's a bunch of different flavors that you can get, but that's pretty close to where the similarities end.
And this is much more easier to handle than the hookah. Hookah has got a water tank and a pipe and a...
Yeah, this is portable. I mean, it's not much bigger than a pen. I carry mine around in my pocket all the time. And just do it on the go. It's very, very convenient to have.
What is your customer reaction on this? I've seen your customers, I've seen that your store has done very well so far, and I've been there a couple times. I've also heard customers coming from all the way from Montana.
We do. We have
Idaho.
Customers coming from all
Are
the
they not allowed
states.
in Montana to smoke this?
Yes, I don't believe Montana's passed any sort of ordinances or whatever, but I can't speak to that with authority.
So why are they coming here all the way to buy this? I heard the price for a bottle of your liquid in Montana is about $30 compared to yours at $9.
Some places are more expensive just because of regulations, or that may also just be very high demand and low supply, and like if somebody's the only shop around, then they're gonna...
Is it demand or supply, or the regulations that you're thinking that might causing the effect of it?
You know, it's really a combination of both.
Okay.
But a lot of the reasons that we have people coming in from out of state, like we just had somebody in from North Dakota, actually, who's a regular customer, and she drives in once a month or so and actually picks up stuff. And what we hear, a lot of the reasons is they just like our customer service. They like that we actually know about the product that we're selling, and that we explain to people and answer any questions that they might have, or if we don't know, we find out. We try to do everything we can, because that's the core of our business, is we want people to be able to stop smoking and move to this alternative, just because we've seen all of us there used to be former smokers at one point or another, and we all ended up quitting. Some quit sooner than others. Like I said, I was the holdout because I took so long, but like I said, I fought it every step of the way. But when I tell that to people, they really seem to get where I'm coming from, because about half the people that come in are very apprehensive.
Sure.
Like, you know, a lot of people look at it as it might be a gimmick. Do I want to drop? Because I mean, $40 isn't a huge amount, but it's not a small amount either, especially to a lot of people around here. And so you don't want to just drop something on that you're going to be, that's just going to break, you know, a week later. It's just not going to work for you. We've got in our shop around about a 90% success rate. Some people will quit smoking the moment they walk out the door. Others take a little bit longer. And it's not just smoking either. People that chew have been able to quit using this as well.
So I come in as a layman, I don't smoke, I come into you and I say, okay, sir, let's say I smoke, okay, and I've been smoking one cigarette, so one packet a day. And I come to you and I say, I don't know anything about this, and I want to start this. Do you guarantee that I can stop cigarette smoking because I've started this? Is there a guarantee deal? No.
No, I don't guarantee that you're going to quit smoking.
Okay.
I would guarantee that I'm providing you with the best possible chance of the best alternative. But like I said, again, I can't say for lots of legal reasons that this is a quit smoking device, because it's not. It is a smoking alternative.
Have you seen any medical study on this?
I have, actually. There was a recent study in, I believe it was Italy. I'm sorry, I don't have the information in front of me. They took a test group of about 300 subjects and compared vaping with, I believe it was nicotine patches, and then people just quitting cold turkey. The cold turkey group, about 7% succeeded. With the nicotine patches, it was around about 60%. This was upwards of 70-75% in that range. And they also studied the health effects too, and they determined that there was no damaging health effects, because let me break it down for you here as far as what the actual liquid is. There's 4 ingredients in the liquid, at least in ours,
Okay.
in standard high quality liquids. The first ingredient is PG, which is propylene glycol. It's a very, very common substance. It's used in everything from food to it's used in asthma inhalers. Hospitals use it in their air filtration systems because it inhibits the growth of mold and mildew. It's a very common substance, and it's also deemed by the FDA to be generally safe for human consumption.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the first ingredient. The second ingredient is VG, which is vegetable glycerin. It's basically like a refined vegetable oil.
So you could use it for cooking purposes.
Yes. PG or VG is it's very common. It's a little bit sweet. Sometimes it's used as a sweetener, preservative, or something along those lines. And then the other 2 ingredients is just flavoring and nicotine. So that's all there is in it. And all of them in our liquids are pharmaceutical and or food grade. So you know you're getting quality and you're not getting something that's going to affect you in a negative way. Now, there are some people, there's a very small portion of the population that is allergic to something like, usually to the propylene glycol. And for people like that, there are also alternatives. You can get a straight VG blend that doesn't have the propylene glycol in it. But other than that, most people don't have any sort of reaction to them.
So how many different kinds of flavors did you say you have?
Right now, we're sitting somewhere around 130 different flavors. Like, we've got everything from tobacco flavors to candy flavors, food flavors, fruit flavors, drink flavors, menthol flavors, all sorts of flavors. And
are you looking into getting some more flavor? Are there some more flavors available?
Oh yes, we're constantly expanding, and we love it when people come in, and especially if they want something but they don't see what it is, that we can do what we can and go about trying to get that particular flavor for them if that's something they would like to see carried.
I see in your establishment you've got 7-8 tables sitting all around, and people, they come and do some testing.
Yes, and that is one of the things that makes us unique, is we have free taste testing. So somebody comes in, they have no idea what they want. So we go through, get them a setup, and that's kind of the easy part. The hardest part is picking out the flavor that you want, because we have so many and they're all extremely good. So what you can do is we'll give you a little setup, and you can sit down at any one of the tables and you can try each and every flavor if you'd like.
You give them a device like this to try?
Yes, it works the same way. It's much smaller. It's what we call a tester.
Okay.
They put a couple drops in, and then they can get
a
good idea
their own
of what
tips?
the flavor. We provide tips, or they can use their own tips.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
And yeah, that way you could go through and you get to try everything that you want to try. And that's the great thing, is trying before you buy it. Because there's nothing worse than buying something that you think is going to be awesome, and then you get home and then you're just so disappointed. Sure. This way you know exactly what you're getting when you get out the door.
Which is your most popular flavor so far?
Probably our most popular flavor is Skittles.
Skittles?
Mm-hmm. Like the candy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely our most popular.
You know, the gentleman who started this in China, he was a pharmacist. And it is surprising that a pharmacist, he thought about something like this. And today this is one of the fastest growing product, I think, in the world.
It is. In some areas of the country, it's even started to overtake cigarette sales.
And I just couldn't believe that an electronic device like this would take the place of a regular cigarette, which has got so much more ingredients in there, which are negative for your body, I believe.
Yes.
But something like this could take over and go so fast. And in India or in Saudi Arabia, Middle Eastern countries, you have that water hookah. That's what I was giving you a comparison. Mm-hmm. That water hookah has been in existence for hundreds of years.
Yes.
But for America over here to introduce that and take that up and going took a long time. They don't understand what exactly hookah is all about. Mm-hmm. And hookah is also another device for not smoking. I think we can put molasses over there with the zero nicotine in there. But I think I've seen so many people over here carrying this nowadays in town that it is getting easier for them, as far as they don't have to carry a packet of cigarette and a lighter and all those stuff. Mm-hmm. So how do you charge this? How do you charge this?
Don't have a charger here in front of me.
Okay, so how do you...
What it does
Would you mind
is,
opening that for us?
Yeah,
Thank
not
you.
a problem. It's actually a USB charger,
Okay.
and then if I had it in front of me, I'd show you. But it just twists right into that, and so you can charge it off of anything that's powered by a USB.
It goes right over here.
Yep, right
I
into
see.
the top where you put
Okay.
the tank. And depending on the size of the battery, it can take anywhere from an hour and a half upwards of 6 hours. to
And
charge.
that lasts for how long?
Again, depends on the size of the battery.
Okay.
The smaller ones will last about 5 to 6 hours with constant use. And then something like this, for example, will last about 10 to 12 hours with constant use. Now again, it does depend on how much you use it. That should be around about the minimum you should get out of it, but some people can go a couple days before they have to recharge it. So a lot of it's very personal, depending on how you use it.
I was talking to one of your clients as I was there because I was getting prepared to talk to you over here. And he was in the age group of about 65, I believe, 60, 65. And he was mentioning, he told me that I've been smoking since I was 14. And this is what which allowed me to stop smoking. I threw my cigarette away. I cannot stand the smoke of it, the smell of it anymore. And, you know, this has been a real gracious, I mean, something that he could not believe that he could do this and get away from cigarettes. Now, what kind of percentage of those kind of people you see on a daily basis that who has been a chain smoker for so long, and because of this, today they stopped smoking?
Many, at least half the people that come in. Even the owner at the shop smoked for 27 years, and he ended up quitting overnight because of this. So we have a lot of people, and in all age ranges too, from people that just started smoking, 18, 19 years old, up to 65. I think the oldest customer we had in there was around 75 or so. So I mean, everybody can quit. And if somebody that's been smoking for 50 plus years can quit, anybody can. If somebody like me that doesn't even want to quit can end up quitting, anybody can. So
what kind of hurdles did you have from the city or the county or from our community over here as you started this new organization over here? Because this is something new for us in Pocatello. So we don't understand this very well.
Yeah, we haven't come into a lot of hurdles as much as just misinformation. Because with something like this, there's always going to be rumors going around or myths, something like that. Like one of the biggest things that we get asked all the time is, does this cause pneumonia? Because people think that you're getting water in your lungs. Couldn't be further from the truth. More people say that it's a gateway to smoking. But if you've ever tried something like this and then go to try a cigarette, that's going backwards. People aren't going to do that. This is to help people switch to a different alternative, something that's much better.
So you're sure that your organization is not helping promote cigarette smoking?
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay.
No, we want people to be able to quit smoking. That's our main goal. So, and this is just the most effective way that a lot of people have found for themselves in order to quit.
Cameron, how long have you been smoking?
I smoked for around about 10 years or so.
And when you started this, how much time did it take for you to quit your regular cigarette totally in between this one and the regular cigarette?
The last cigarette I smoked, I started doing this in May. And I kind of would quit for like a week or two, and then I'd just go buy a pack just because every now and then, and it kind of went like that. It took me a grand total of about 4 months, but the last cigarette I had was actually September 29th. So almost exactly 3 months I've quit completely, not even a cheap puff.
So are you guys planning to extend your organization, your business, to other areas?
Oh, we're always looking to grow. That's still kind of in the planning stages, I guess you'd say. But we're definitely always looking to grow and expand.
Do you have to go through any kind of city ordinance?
It's kind of a legal gray area around here. We do have a tobacco permit. There's nothing saying we actually have to have a tobacco permit in order to sell these. But we
don't have to, or you have to? You have to, I believe.
There's not anything, actually, at least to my knowledge, that anything saying that we do have to.
Okay.
Yes, but on a city level, because there's no sort of federal ordinance, and that's a lot of the reason for a lot of controversy around this too, is there's not any sort of guidelines. In some areas there are, but in some areas there aren't. So like I said, we do have a tobacco permit. I'm not sure, I could be wrong, but I'm not sure that we actually are required to have it. We would rather err on the side of caution.
What age group can come and buy this?
You have to be 18 or above because there is an ordinance in Idaho that no sell to minors, and we wouldn't sell to minors anyway. But yeah, so you have to be 18 or older in order to buy it, just like a pack of cigarettes. Yes.
You do check IDs, good.
Absolutely.
And what age group is really focused in this product? If I say, is it within the age of 21 through 35 or 50 through 60? Which age group is really?
Probably about, I mean, we have it in all age groups, of course, but probably our main demographic would be about 28 to 45. In that range right there. Just people that have been smoking for, quite a while, a better part of their lives, and just want to quit. But yeah, we do have much younger and much older as well.
How do you market yourself?
A lot of it is word of mouth. We do have some radio advertisements going now and then. We're on Facebook. That's a big part of what we do. But I mean, the biggest part of it is really just word of mouth, because everybody who smokes knows a smoker. And so when one smoker quits, other smokers tend to notice, and it just kind of feeds on itself that way.
Folks, that was Camron Taysom talking about vaping. If you would like to know more about vaping, you could connect with Camron at 233 North Main Street, Suite B in Pocatello, Idaho, downtown. And the contact number there is 208-252-7894, 252-7894. The name of the organization is Smoke This. Smoke This is also doing a charitable fundraiser, and if you're interested in supporting a little child who is going through leukemia right now, you could stop by at their store and help out with that fundraiser. The address once again is 233 North Main, Suite B, and the phone number is 252-7894. Folks, I hope you have enjoyed this program. There was a lot of information about alternative smoking, as Camron Taysom had mentioned, and they come in boxes like this, so you can go look at the store, understand what this product is all about. You can get more knowledgeable of this whole entire smoking system, which I don't know much about it, but they can explain it to you. They can make you understand, and if you're a smoker, as he says, maybe this might help you out, maybe it might not, I do not know. But I really want to understand what this was all about. I wanted you to know that what vaping was all about. Folks, with that, thank you so very much for tuning into the Sanjubaba Show this week. We'll catch you back sometime again next week, same time. Tune in.
What if those traffic cameras took pictures of things that actually helped you out?
What if paying bills was optional?
What if the person you met online actually looked like their profile picture?
2 chains.
In a world full of what ifs, what if you could ensure that cable companies across the country continue to provide the local channels and support to you and your community without any new fees or taxes? Well, now you can.
Join us in support of the CAP Act. when Congress passes the CAP Act.
We'll have insured
The continued support of
The 5,000 public.
Education.
And government channels across the U.S.
who broadcast more than 1 million hours of
New locally produced programs each year.
by people
Just like me.
And by people just like you.
What if you go to the Act Now section at acommunitytv.org
and call your congress member to pass the CAP Act today.